I heard about the fellowship because my friend Carlos was actually recently participating in the first fellowship, and he told me about the work, and because he knew where I'm coming from, my background, so he thought it would fit me perfectly.
How did you hear about the Richard Boyd Fellowship?
I was referred through my partner. She was part of the organization.
I heard through Carlos, like I needed a job, and he told me to apply. He said the only qualifications I need was to be previously incarcerated, and I was like, oh yeah, I got it. But yeah, through Carlos, I didn't really know too much about like the work and stuff, but he just told me to do it. And then he told me, I was like, what I gotta do? And he was like, all you gotta do is change your life.
I heard it through Shayla, actually, so a staff member, because I was doing TE work at Rubicon as an ambassador, and I was just meeting a lot of people, and that was the whole point of that. It's like, man, go and meet people and try to get in, in the field. So yeah, I met Shayla through somebody at Rubicon, and then kept in contact with Shayla, and that's how I got connected. And I met Tamisha.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. My name is Andre Akins. I am tonight's host, community advocate, and training consultant here with the Safe Return Project. And I am glad to welcome you to our Richard Boyd Fellowship Meet and Greet. We are living in some amazing times, and some amazing work is being done here. I've been connected with Safe Return for a number of years, and Tamisha Walker, who you will be meeting shortly, Richard Boyd and myself have known each other, partnered with each other, worked with each other for a number of years. And through the connection from my former role at Alive and Free, we have been working within the community to help service the community, to help people reach their fullest potential and be the best versions that they can of themselves that they can be, as well as become advocates for the community in which they lived in and which they return to, and impact in a positive way. We have taken the time tonight to introduce you and to bring about our latest cohort of fellows. This is our second cohort of Richmond Fellows, and hopefully through this, you will be able to get to know them. You will be able to see the work that is being done within the community, as well as a few surprises that we have for everybody, and also a challenge for those who work within the community to step up and have an opportunity to help out in this mission that we have here at Safe Return. So sit back, hang on, be prepared for a great evening of testimonials, of stories, and I would say an invitation to become involved. So with that said, I would like to take the time to introduce our executive director here at Safe Return, an amazing woman, an amazing person who I've known, dare I say, and use a little bit of slang, my ace boon coon, and partner in this work, Tamisha Walker.
Good evening, everyone. Super excited about tonight. My name is Tamisha Torres Walker. I am the Executive Director of Safe Return Project and a co-founder. The mission of the Safe Return Project is to end mass incarceration and mass criminalization of Black people, people of color, and poor people, and to re-enfranchise individuals and communities that's been impacted by the criminal legal system. We plan to accomplish these large goals of building agency for folks impacted through grassroots organizing, participatory action research, and the deep investment in the leadership of those on the front lines, frontline communities. What do I mean by that? I mean, we firmly believe as an organization that those closest to the pain had the solutions. Those closest to the pain are the experts, and those closest to the pain deserve deep investment to be the leaders on the front lines. Safe Return Project turned 10 years old this year in October, so I'm really excited. It is Safe Return 10th year of doing amazing work, not just locally in Richmond, but countywide, regionally, at the state level, and nationally around empowering individuals who've been impacted to lead in their own communities. I'm really excited about the Richard Boyd Fellowship and our cohort this year. Every cohort I'm excited about, let's just be honest. It's an amazing opportunity, a 12-month paid fellowship where 6 months of fellowship, an individual is just paid to work on themselves, work on their healing, their personal and professional transformation. The second 6 months, they get in on the ground with the organizing, start to lead and co-lead campaigns, and learn organizing, narrative, and communication skills to help build movements. You might be asking yourself, well, why would you pay somebody 6 months just to get healthy? Well, that was Richard Boyd. Richard Boyd, that was his whole idea. We had many conversations. As I was a Safe Return member about how can we help people get healthy enough to do the work of mass liberation. If anybody knew Richard, he was a bridge builder. He brought people together, built people up, and the most valuable thing he had to offer to somebody was his time. And that is who I knew Richard to be. Had a very kind heart, but was very clear on accountability and that we needed to invest in people to get well. And so that's why, in the formation of this fellowship, we prioritized the first 6 months of just investing on a person's personal transformation because that was Richard's vision. Richard's vision was that we just invest in people to get healthy so that we can change our community. And what has fostered from that has been an amazing fellowship opportunity for our community here. But not only that, it's also challenged us as an organization, as Safe Return Project, to really say, well, maybe healing is the movement, and every other success that we have as a movement is as a result of healing. And so I'm really excited for you all to meet the fellows tonight. I'm excited to hear their stories. I can never get enough of hearing stories of success, transformation, and healing. And I hope you enjoy it. And also, like Andre said, it takes a lot. The application is out now to either nominate a new fellow for the 2021 cohort or for you to apply if you think this is for you. What that means is that we have a new group of people that's coming in who are ready to have their personal transformation invested in, and we cannot do it without you. We cannot do it without the community. That is why we need everybody out there to invest in the leadership development of a 2021 fellow. So I'm gonna step back now because that is my role as a leader, to create as much space as possible for others to lead. I really appreciate everybody tonight, and I also just want to thank all of our veterans for their service and all of our servicemen and women on the front lines right now today. Thank you.
Um, some problems with the Wi-Fi, but hopefully we're back online, and that will be the last hiccup. But you know, it's amazing times that we live in, with an election, with a president who's been fired, who refused to let go. So why not the internet mess up on us? So anyway, back to what I was saying. Tamisha reminded me of when as she was speaking of Richard, the many conversations that we had, the impromptu conversations, meetings, after meetings. There's times when we were at cafes. There's times when we were just walking. There are times when we were having just personal time together. And the one thing that I remember about Richard is that he always asks questions about how can we help people be the best versions of themselves? How can we set up an environment and set up a process in which people can go through so that they can reach their fullest potential, with also having accountability for moving the needle in their own lives. And so it was with great pleasure and with great, I would say, admiration for Richard and his drive on this point to be involved with Safe Return and to be involved directly with the Richard Boyle Fellowship. This is, again, our second cohort. Our first cohort was a learning experience, but it also led a pathway to great success. And we are involved with the fellows that we call alumni. You may have an opportunity to meet a few tonight. But tonight is about celebrating the current fellowship participants with us here at Safe Return. So what we want to talk a little bit about also is the mentorship in which Richard really embodied, which is that he held himself to a level of accountability to where he was never a person to tell somebody something that he was not going to be about himself, or that he didn't think about, or that he didn't find to be important. He was always constantly a very thoughtful person, transparent person, and as Tamisha said, a loving, kind, and dedicated person to people. That was very important. So this fellowship is very important to hold the name of Richard Boyd because of the fact that it's about people and the development of people. And that's what is going to affect our communities to grow, is the improvement upon self of our people, to help our people and help ourselves. So with that said, I want to take a little time to have a donation. We're going to take a donation break at this time, where there is a place for people that would like to donate to this organization and to the fellowship. At the you should see the little hashtag at the bottom. Well, not hashtag, but the donate website, where it's donate at Safe Return Project. We did it. And if you find that this, as far as it goes, sound like a worthwhile initiative, please go there and donate whatever you can. If you need a little bit more information, well, that information is coming. So please do so, or check out how you can participate. There's a number of ways that you can participate to help in this community and in this initiative. What we're going to do now during our giving break is have a music selection, a music video from an artist. I'm gonna read you a little bit about her. Her name is Demi Day. Is an independent rap star and lyrical mastermind, carving out a path of creative greatness. A self-taught performer, writer, and graphic designer, Day has left behind her former endeavors as a minister and scholar. to pursue her artistic passions. Her dedicated work in the music industry has been tremendously promising. Oh, I'm interested in hearing this. With the support of her day crew and a ton of hard work, Demi has begun making a name for herself in the rap game. She has opened up for notable acts, including Taylor Bennett, Blitz, The Ambassador, No Name, T.I., and Raheem Devon. Oh, that's pretty good. Day has also graced the stage at several festivals and conferences, including Taste of DC and the Trinity International Hip Hop Festival and Artists United. You can also check her out at her website if that helps. www.demidayofficial.com. So without further ado, we're taking our musical break, which also gives folks the opportunity to donate or even leave a message or comment or get in contact with questions on how they can help in this work that we're doing. So without further ado, our music video.
Everybody can't reach like, everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you, everybody can't reach like, and everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you. I understand you got your own thing going. Merely on down the stream, you better keep on rowing. They try to knock your self-esteem, you better keep on glowing. Don't let nobody in between the future you be knowing. So here's my message to you. Ain't no person on earth that can outdo you. Be yourself until yourself. You be honest that you knew you. Only you can be a rock when it ain't no one else around. And if you don't love yourself, then the only way is down. But I believe in you. I see you got some dreams in you. Full speed ahead, I see you got some steam in you. Just keep chugging away. Be grateful for every day that you get to bless the world with such a beautiful face. Let your shadow make the chase. Let your heart dictate the pace. Let your mind give you the strength and let your spirit run the race. And bet your ancestors cheering, seeing the path you clearing. Nothing worth fearing, every lesson worth hearing. But every now and again they try to break you. Lean into the wounds even though they might be painful. And when they heal the scars, that's when you gon' see a breakthrough. I'm praying that you make do with every resource within your grasp. Multiply it forth and be generous with your math. Kindness in your hand, willing to understand that every single second you get is another dance. And every single moment you breathe is another chance to do something you love, to always rise above. Parting for the past, don't let that trauma beat you up. Be gentle with your mental and everything you've been through. End of the day, you're the reason I grabbed the pencil, so I could draw you up with motivational stencils, tracing the inspiration, make way for the destination. Trust me, I can see all of the places that you're headed, and I'm here to let you know you ain't gonna never reach a dead end. Everybody can't reach like, everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you, everybody can't reach like, and everybody can't dream like, everybody can't be like, everybody can't be like you.
Great video. And man, she is a very good lyricist. I want to take this moment just before we get into the real crust and the meat and potatoes of this meet and greet to thank the donors who have backed the Richard Boyd Fellowship. It took a lot of work to put it together, and there were individuals who saw the value in what Richard Boyd stood for, I must say still stand for, because wherever he's at, his spirit is with us, and he's still standing for the same things. But there were a number of people who came up, stood up, and picked up the banner, did the heavy lifting to ensure that this could come true. So I would like to thank them very much for being a part of the Richard Boyd Fellowship by donating whatever it was, whether it was financial, time, whether it was other kinds of resources. There's tons of people that played a part in this. And there's a ton of people that plays a part in safe return as well. So I would like to thank individuals who stand behind and allow safe return to stand on the shoulders of that have been influential in this organization, being here for 10 years and growing in the ways that it has grown. With that said, I think that's a good segue for everyone to now meet our current cohort of fellows. We are going to allow them to introduce themselves, and then we're going to have an interview session with each of them. But for right now, I would like to take the time to give our fellows to introduce themselves, and each of them will start off with Carnell.
Hello, I'm Carnell Mayfield, Oakland, California. Everybody, my family all call me Peppy. I just want to give a shout out to my kids, my family, and Safe Return organization, and also my fiance for introducing me to them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carnell. Working with Carnell has been a joy, seeing him start from when he came in to where he is currently. And let me just say that this is a lifelong process that we're introduced into, because life continues on. Real quick, Carnell, before I let you go, what is your biggest takeaway from the fellowship?
My biggest takeaway really is the support system that was designed around the organization and the fellowship that involved help and healing.
Great. How has this work transformed you personally?
Me personally, man, it just gave me the knowledge and the strength to know that I do have a voice, be able to tell my story, and I can also give back to my community and help them as well.
And that's one of the things that impressed me about you, even from the beginning, that you always talked about even though there were things that you needed to work on yourself, you was always thinking about and talking about how can you personally impact the community and change the trajectory of other lives that was impacted similarly to yours, as well as you always been very read and a very well-spoken brother. So it was a pleasure to see how all that come together to bring us to tonight. So with that in mind, let me ask you, what words, if you knew somebody or somebody came up to you that wanted to apply to the Richard Boyd Fellowship, what would you tell them about it?
To be honest, I would really have to tell them, if they want to feel healed within themselves and they want to be able to tell their story, because I know that everybody in the community has been traumatized some way. So if you want to be able to tell your story and speak your voice, come to Safe Return, join the fellowship, because it'll help focus on trauma and healing.
Great. Let me add one extra thing into this. What was the biggest challenge for you?
Man, for me, was really just trusting the whole process of, coming into this program and this fellowship. It was a big change for me, not knowing anything about grassrooting or just focusing on my trauma, knowing that I have been traumatized, and knowing how to heal it and being able to impact my community from a better aspect.
Thank you, Carnell. And you personify everything that Richard Boyd stood for and what he wanted for for our people in our community. So thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. Next, I would like to bring aboard Marvin G. Marvin, can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can hear you. Can you how can you hear me clearly?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, no problem. Again, you know, we're not going to claim those little pesky problems that we have, and we're going to get through them. So, Marvin, real quickly, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us your name, of course, any nicknames that you may have, and give us any shout outs that you may have.
And what was the last part?
Get any shout outs to family or friends that you have.
Okay. All right. So my name is Marvin Galdames. I'm been with the Richard Board Fellowship at Safe Return for about a year now, and I've been associated with Safe Return for over a year. I heard about them through the community and other um, projects that I had going, and when I heard about the fellowship, um, it sounded like a great opportunity, and I was really happy and um, to apply, and even happier when they told me that I got into the fellowship after the interview, the panel interviews, and all that. So yeah, it's great. Um, no shout outs just to anyone specific. Just shout out to everybody out there that's watching us and everybody that supports us. Thank you.
Okay, great. And one of the things, well, there's two things, Marvin, that has always impressed me about you from day one. One is your willingness to be open from day one. I mean, you were like a book, a clear book. So you had no problem jumping in and letting people know where you were and what you were dealing with. That was great and fantastic.
Yeah.
The other thing is that you didn't mind taking responsibility, even though you didn't have the answers to what was driving you. You would say, "Hey, I got this wrong. Hey, I did this. Hey, I did that." So you didn't make a whole lot of excuses. I mean, you provided reasons, but you didn't provide excuses, which was a big difference.
Thank you.
I appreciated that from the gate, from you coming in. So with that, I'm gonna switch up a little bit of the order of the questioning, and I'm gonna start off. What did you find challenging going through the fellowship?
It was challenging. The first 6 months was challenging as far as like really digging deep into like our our inner self, and like come to terms with like traumas that we've experienced, that I know for me personally that I hadn't processed. And believe it or not, some even traumas that I didn't even realize were traumas. And to be able to confront that, process it, talk about it, write about it. I mean, because you had us write like essays on the stuff. So that was challenging, you know, because it's tough to confront your traumas and your you know, your past um, um, traumas. And yeah, that was challenging for me, but I wanted to trust the process, and I wanted to give it a chance, and that's why no matter what happened, I always wanted to be transparent and be honest, so that, I mean, wherever the chips may fall, that's what I wanted to. I wanted to see it all the way through and see if it would, work. So that was challenging. It
Okay.
was.
Okay. What is your biggest takeaway from the fellowship?
Oh man, my biggest takeaway is that everybody has a story, and everybody deserves a second chance of redemption, and um, we all struggle with our different, past and demons, traumas, whatever you want to call it. But it's hard to confront that, process it, and then start to love ourselves. It's very hard. But my biggest takeaway is that when we do that, it's just it becomes easier to love yourself, and to in turn love others, and be able to engage and be honest with others, as in the community, which prepared me for the work that we actually go out and do, and engage the community, voters, and things of that nature. So yeah, my biggest takeaway was that everybody deserves a second chance, and we all got it in us.
Okay, great. One last question. What words of
Yes,
advice
sir.
would you give to the what words of advice would you give to the next incoming fellow?
Did you say what advice? You were breaking up a little bit. I can't
Yes, what
really understand
advice
the
would you
question.
give to the next incoming fellow?
Yeah, like um, like what I was just speaking of is like give the process, um, give it a chance, be open minded, have an open heart, and be honest, and don't be afraid to confront your past and your traumas, and to speak about them, because believe it or not, you may think you're the only one, or that somebody's gonna judge you for it, or whatnot, but sometimes other people have been through it or worse, and when they hear your story, it will help them as well. So it's not only going to help heal you and cleanse your soul and your spirit and your mind, but it's also going to help other people, your other cohort members, and sometimes even the instructors. I'm just saying. I'm not talking about you specifically.
Hey, talk about me, because I don't mind. I don't mind. I'm very transparent. So
I know.
I
I
do
know.
want to say that this work works reciprocal. That what you put into it is what you get out of it. And for me, doing this
Yeah.
work also helps me as well. And I come in sometime and we sit down and I go through my stuff too, because we are all on the same continuum. We're all on the same journey, and we will be working on ourselves to the end. And one of the things that I make sure that we're very clear on is that I'm no better than you. You're no better than me. We are all the same, and we all have work that we need to do on ourselves, and we all have to be engaged in the work constantly. And I'm not going to tell you something that I'm not going to be willing to do or willing to put out my own self, or expect you to do something that I'm not willing to do myself. So thank you very much, Marvin.
And
Really, really
I
appreciate
just
you.
want to say really quick. I just want to say really quick. I appreciate you. I appreciate that part of you, because not only do you come with a lot of knowledge, but also a lot of life experience, and sometimes similar. I mean, sometimes I call you and I ask you for advice, and I'm like, I literally caught myself saying, Andre, you have no idea how stressful it is. And I was like, wait a minute, you spoke about something similar like this, so you do know. So it's. I appreciate you too, man.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and thank you for that. Appreciate it. So what we're going to do now is go to a music break to give again individuals to donate to the organization. in the name of the Richard Boyd Fellowship. So we'll be back, and we have 2 more fellows for you to meet. Thank you very much. Thank you to everyone who has donated to this organization and to this initiative, the Richard Boyd Fellowship. We are very, very happy to let everybody know that your investment in human collateral pays off. It pays off. So we are now going to introduce our next fellow. Her name is Gloria. Gloria, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good, and you?
Doing wonderful, doing wonderful. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, where you're from, who you are, and if you have any shout outs or anybody you would like to thank, please do so.
My name is Gloria Schroeder. I'm from Richmond, California. I'm 21 years old. I'm a single mother, and I just want to shout out all my loved ones, my family, everybody who keeps me home and safe. And the Safer Church Project too.
I like that word, safe. Help keeping you safe. That I appreciate that. So, Gloria, we have some questions we would like to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
And I would also like to say that it's been a pleasure working with you. One of the things that, even though things have been thick, even though things have been challenging for you, you're still here. You're still in it. You came a part of us before your child was born, then you had to go through childbirth, and that has not stopped you from participating with us, because that is a whole task in itself, parenting and going through that process. So let me just say thank you very much for being you to hang in there with everything else that's going on, pandemic included. So thank you. So let me ask you, and I guess I'll start off with the same question that I asked Marvin a minute ago. What has been one of the challenges of being in the fellowship?
Nothing really. Like, I guess it's just reminding myself that I'm part of an organization, and just hopping on and stuff. Sometimes I have, technical difficulties, but that's some things that are out of our control. But yeah, it's just been challenging, just getting my mind right and staying focused a little bit.
And as you said something, that gives me a thought to change up one of my questions for you specifically. And one of the things that we talk about is the fact that that you have to process a lot of things that make you think the way that you think. So let me ask you, what is something that you find challenging to work on in terms of your thinking?
Um, not too sure. Like,
Okay.
it's just I just get a lot of thoughts.
Hmm.
Yeah, it all comes to a full blank. So sometimes I don't be too sure what to think about. So I
Right.
try to keep myself occupied and focused. And yeah, pretty much I try to remain peace and happy.
And that's what I wanted to bring out, the fact that you're processing and thinking rather than something hit you and you act out on it.
Mm,
Where that could have been something that you would have been doing before. So
yeah,
that's the whole point of that
I think
question.
if I knew something for certain, it would be different the way I handle things if I was told certain things or like, if I'm always such an honest person of like when situations happen because a lot of misunderstandings could cause a lot of situations. That's why I'd rather not say anything at all
Hmm.
because sometimes I'm not too sure. Sometimes some things aren't exactly how you see them. Like,
Right.
I don't know how to explain it, but
Right. We got it. That it ain't it what it appears to be sometimes
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Yeah. What's the biggest takeaway that you have from the fellowship?
Um, and some mindfulness really like showed me how to keep myself grounded and focus on reality and separate myself from just thoughts and it just showed me how to like just really ground myself.
Mm, okay. Our last question for you at this time. Um, what advice would you give to anybody who would be applying to the fellowship?
Just give it a shot.
Mm,
Yeah.
give it a shot. That's a great way to end it. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. Give it a shot. So thank you. And again, it may not be said a lot, but I appreciate you sticking with it, although it's been challenging and in the midst of trying to raise your child in the middle of a pandemic with everything going on. So kudos to you for being able to stick with it. Thank you. So we now will be moving on to our next fellow, um, who will be introducing herself and her journey. Mica, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. And you know what? Every time I hear I'm good, I feel good when you say I'm good.
I
So
appreciate
and that's like your little call word when everything, I like that when I hear it. Um, and let me say, um, from the beginning of the fellowship, you have always been a person that's been very analytical about self. You've always been able, even without the answers, you've always had thoughts about your own processes, where you are, where you were, you were just always very deep when it came to doing the work on self and analyzing self. So that always stood out to me from the beginning, which I appreciated. And you've also been very clear and real about you, So thank you for being that, and that made our work that much richer. So thanks. Um, so my first question is, how has the work personally transformed you?
I would say the work personally transformed me by uh helping me change the way I think, my thought process and my decision making. Helping me personally identify the unhealthy factors in my life
Mm,
and how to get rid of them in a positive, productive way to move forward with my life. It's helped
mhm.
me a lot.
Okay. Okay. Um, what would you say was the biggest challenge?
The biggest challenge was probably like getting myself to actually admit and take accountability for a lot of things that I put myself in certain positions that brought me down. So
Right.
actually taking the opportunity to stand back, self reflect, and hold myself accountable.
You know, one of the things that I also appreciated is when we were having our sessions, you always had questions, and they just wasn't surface questions. You always, like, I remember the specific questions. How do you know when a relationship is healthy or unhealthy? And that spurred a whole conversation in itself. So your ability to ask those very thought-provoking questions to get down deep also was very impressive. And one of the things that I appreciated that made the experience rich. And even though the answers wasn't popping like this, it was setting the stage to get to the answer or move in the direction or increase the process of getting the answer. And it was about for self. So that was great. What advice would you give to someone who was trying to apply for the fellowship?
I would have 3 simple words for that person. It would just be trust the process, because that's just something that we heard and, you know, got drilled into us during my whole fellowship. So, you know, because there's going to be times where you doubt something, you feel discouraged or challenged, or you're going through a hard time, and you just got to keep trusting the process. So.
Yeah, man, you know what? I ain't got a mic, but I'll drop this highlighter. You dropped the mic on that. Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Again, not just you, but with all the fellows, you brought so many different aspects into the group. But the one thing that went through everything, and that is everyone genuinely cared about everyone, whether the quirks or whatever the case may be. There was a lot of support to see everybody be successful. And that don't mean, just like family, everybody get along all the time, or everybody come from the same perspective, or everybody have the same lens to see things. But that mean that at the end of the day, everybody wanted to see everybody be as healthy as they can be and proceed within their lives. So that was something that really stood out when the work is really genuine. And that's what I can say, that everybody really supported each other in this process.
I definitely agree.
Well, you know, like I said, there ain't much more I can say on that last point that you made, except for thank you for joining in with us for this evening. We're going to go into another musical break to thank some more people, to give people an opportunity to donate as well. And after which we will be talking to some alumni from the first cohort of the Richard B. Fellowship. Check it out. Okay, now that we're back, we're going to, and let me not have a brain freeze. And again, thank you for our individual donors as well as organizational donors for taking part in supporting our efforts here. We appreciate you, and we stand on your shoulders because without you, we couldn't do the work that we do. So at this time, I would like to bring on our some of our alumni from our first cohort. We have Ade and Lamar. They're in our alumni booth. So
Hi, everybody.
Thank you very much for joining us tonight. How are you doing?
We're doing great. We're excited. We're here, and we're really happy to see the fellows expressing themselves and watching them grow. And we're happy to be here. What?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Happy to be here. Happy to support the fellows. Happy that I got supporters with me as well. So, we're here.
Great. And Ade, and you have a different perspective because now you are a part of the organization Self-Return, Safe Return, in which you came to be a part of the fellowship. So you kind of found a home and dug yourself in here.
Yeah.
So there's a different kind of perspective. So one question I got from you is, what do you see that what do you see that's common between your cohort of fellowship members and this cohort of fellowship members?
What do I see as similar?
Yes, similar.
Oh, wow. That before we actually get into the fellowship, we don't know anything. we didn't know anything. We didn't know the process. We didn't know how to express ourselves. We didn't know how to really have a personal relationship with our own selves. And so watching the second round of fellows going through their process, I was able to see exactly what my hiccups were, what my weaknesses were, and to be able to turn them into strengths now. So yeah, I see I see that.
Great. And I get to see you the before and the after. So it's a unique situation for me working with you in the capacities that we work now. Lamar, what was your takeaway from your time when you were here as a fellow?
Taking it serious, making adjustments that I needed to keep on bettering myself, dealing with trauma. It's been a lot. But main thing, just getting through it. Getting through it without getting fired.
and there's a certain level of confidentiality that we keep with things here. So I won't go into great detail, but I just want you to know what you told me when we came in, that, and again, going back to, we will continue to go through our process because life doesn't stop. And there will always be issues and challenges that happens. But it was very important to me that you said what you said, because that meant that you understand where things can go off the rails by making certain decisions or doing certain things. So that in itself is a large part of growth that you probably wouldn't have recognized before in the past. So it's real. So I think make sure that you take note of, man, I'm still moving in the right direction despite all the things that's going on in one's life. And I think that that's one of the major things that the fellowship helps everyone do, including myself, equipped our toolbox with the tools that we need so that we can make it in this society as it is structured right now. Yeah. My last question for either one of y'all is for which will be the third cohort to come through. And since y'all are the first, the real triple OGs, what advice would you give to anyone who's coming through now, starting with you, Lamar?
Stick it with it. Don't give up. Don't let yourself get in the way of something that can be better.
I would say definitely I would agree with Lamar and stick with it. But foremost, be honest with yourself. Forgive yourself. Don't be afraid to learn. Um, Humble yourself around people because a lot of people come with a lot of experience and a lot of background, and learn to listen. That's what I would say. And don't give up.
Okay, that's another drop the mic moment.
I had to learn myself, so
Yeah.
that's what I would tell them.
You know, again, I'm so proud of y'all, and you know, with our relationship and our experience with each other, being able to see y'all in this capacity, knowing where y'all journey started from 2 years and plus ago, really lets Richard Boyd's spirit rest in power very well, because this is what he wanted for our community to have the ability to have the opportunity to better themselves and move forward. At this time, what we're going to do is have a very keeping in mind with the time that we have left, we want to have a group discussion or round table or chat. So we're going to bring everybody in at this point. And hopefully everybody will have a chance to say a little something before we end up getting off the air around this. But it's going to be a general question, and I want it to be as organic as possible. And I wanted to feel like it makes sense at this point. So I want to try to give people the opportunity to jump in where they want to jump in at and feel the energy. Not necessarily like how my class is like, okay, let me told you what to do. So I would just throw it out there. And one of the things that I want to throw out there to give people an opportunity to answer is, with everything that transpired in 2020, and with the work that in the for the current fellows that you've been doing, and not to take away from the alumni, but what do you envision your 2021 looking like, walking out now that the fellowship and now that you have these processes? Because again, it just don't stop when the fellowship ends. The process continues on. So how do you envision think your 2021 going for you as you move forward?
You talking to anybody just in general?
Anybody can jump in.
Man, for myself, I see 2021. I envision 2021 with me achieving my goals and my aspirations, as far as continuing college and my education and becoming a psychologist. So I see.
Okay. Oh, and you know what? Let me say this. Gloria isn't the only person that just recently became a parent. Carnell also has. And we was in one meeting and he was feeding the baby. So right on, brother. Right on, brother. So I want to give you your credit too, Papa of the Year. So, but thank you, Carnell. So we know that with that drive, you're gonna put everything into achieving your goals. Who would like to go next?
Okay.
I can always volunteer.
Well, I just want to go to school next year and just keep feeding my mind some knowledge, and that's about it.
Okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. You might have to speak up just a little bit more.
Okay. The way I see 2021 going is just continuing to work, continuing to fight for change, and you know, keeping all the commitments that I made, and also just engaging with the community, like building us stronger, coming together.
Okay. Okay. Hey, Carnell, what do y'all think about for y'all 2020?
What you
2021,
say?
rather. What do y'all think? What's the outlook that you have for your 2021?
I thought I just told you the outlook for mine.
No. Yeah, you did. I was talking to Ade and Lamar. I'm sorry if I said Carnell.
Well, number one is to, of course, be healthy. A life, without COVID worry anymore in 2021, and also to continue to develop leaders, to continue to engage with the community, to continue to learn from each other, to continue the healing, and to make sure that the legacy, at least for me, the legacy of Safe Return continues and it grows even after we're long gone. So that's what's important to me.
Okay.
Getting out of the house. Continuously, taking care of my son, continuously working. Yeah, me and Ade working together, making my way back to Safe Return, as well as continuously working with CB. So just keep on doing my thing and evolving. Oh yeah, shout out to everybody that came up in here to see your boy Looney, man. Appreciate it.
Okay. Now, this one is probably a question that will spark a little bit of thought and everything. But I would like for someone to mention for a moment which fellow and which moment that you could think of that a fellow that impacted you. One of your fellows. What about them? Whether it was a self-discovery moment, whether it was about an accomplishment, but what was it about a fellow that impacted you and made you feel good?
Is that question directed to me?
To any fellow that would like to say something about a fellow.
There was a couple of fellows that started out with us, so them not being able to continue, of course, has an impact because I thought, they had a home here. But the breakthrough moment, actually, when I saw Mica today, that was a moment for me because of COVID, we haven't seen each other. We've all been working remotely. So actually seeing her healthy and in good spirits and able to just focus and everything was good. Everybody being safe and here is good. So, we didn't really hang out that much because of the COVID. So I didn't see a lot of the times, but just being here and listening to them, I think we're at a great place.
Right.
Anyone else? Nah. Glad about everybody. Showed everybody stuck with it. Those who did follow through. They got through their trials and tribulations. So I think most of them only made themselves stronger. So I'm motivated by all of them. But I'm also touched by that one dude named Lamar. He gave y'all the blues. But yeah. Let him be an inspiration as well. But yeah, I'm proud of all y'all, for real.
Yeah.
I will, in terms of that comment about this guy named Lamar, I will not make a comment.
A breakthrough moment for me.
Oh,
with the fellows, for just the background and the experience that we all brought to the fellowship, each background and the problems that we all brought to the fellowship, how each one of us had endured it and still stuck out to a fellowship and made it here. So that was a breakthrough moment for me.
Right on, man. Right on.
Me personally, I would say, kind of like a moment that, from a fellow that I've been working with. I don't know if Marvin's on here or not, but kind of like we had a lot of debates throughout the year. So we came in with a lot of different stern opinions and attitudes. So we went back and forth all year, keeping each other good. And he definitely helped me stay open, like willing to learn something new and willing to just change my thinking, just on different things. So I don't know if you heard or not, but
Thank you. Thank you. Um, I, I, I guess I could just say that it impressed me that everybody kept pushing. That was the moment. There were times when definitely it looked like it was going to be one thing, but it turned into people were able to move in a different direction. But that's what this work is all about, giving people the space and ability to pretty much decide whether they're going to put their energy into themselves or put their energy into something else. And right now, we can say that your energy is, by you being here, this is where your energy is focusing at now. I would just say that we always have to remember that. We always have to remember that. Tamisha, our wonderful executive director, and the woman with the mindset and the backbone to do all the heavy lifting. I'm gonna pass the mic to you.
Come on, Mother Hen.
What can I say? What can I say? I don't do nothing. Like, I don't do anything except for create space. And I think that like Lamar, what's up? Lamar. I'm not we on live stream, so I ain't gonna out you, brother. But Lamar, man, I appreciate you, brother. Your growth is amazing. You are an amazing father and a Black man and a mentor to young men, and you're doing dope work. And I just really appreciate you. And a day, I know we journal a lot in the fellowship, and I know one of the first things I asked today was like, why do you like drama? And it was just like a real question, right? But I think that we had so many great reflective opportunities, and conflict is always an opportunity for change. And I think that a day has grown a lot. We all have a lot of work to do, but I really appreciate you, sister, and the work that is taking place around women and young girls and the trauma that we all face pre-incarceration, incarceration, and post-incarceration. So just keep pushing forward. I love the way you hype up the organization. We got flags. Anybody want flag? We got t-shirts. We got hats. We got fanny packs. So thank you, Ade, community engagement organizer, with the most energy. Gloria, I just feel like I need to take time to pour affirmation into my folks individually any chance that I get. And like Gloria, we don't, I used to think Gloria was like a woman of few words. And I was like, how am I gonna get her to talk more? Then when I got her to talk, she would stop talking. But I think it was also just like, Gloria, you have had so many amazing breakthroughs.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate your fire, your strength. You're a leader in your own right in your community. You're beautiful. You're a mommy. And I really appreciate you. And I can't wait to continue to work with you. Carnell, we got a lot of work to do, brother. And I appreciate just how you bring an analysis, but you're willing to flex that analysis, and you're willing to take in information and process it. And you got get back. You got get back, brother. And I just want to let you know that we're here for you. Mica, is the next generation of leadership and safe return and in the community. And Mica, I appreciate your strength. I didn't know what to think when you showed up with another tattoo. I was so mad. but but I appreciate the way you express yourself, the growth, the accountability that you have. You really stepped up in the space of accountability that I haven't seen from most adults in a long time. I'm really encouraged by the mantle that you're going to pick up and run with. And I just appreciate your heart. And so and Andre, what can I say, brother? Like you we didn't need a timekeeper, nah. I love Andre. Andre has been like from the first time I woke up in the morning and came to Andre and Richard with this, and we talked. Andre has been on board, and Andre cares about our people. Andre deeply cares about our people and shows up for our folks. And even when he's going through a lot, and we all got to give each other grace. And I just appreciate everybody who's here today, everybody who couldn't be here, and also just Marvin for his heart and his insightfulness. Marvin is at work today. You know, our people getting jobs, housing, reflecting on their own healing and building their families. And that's what drives me. So I'm not successful if you all aren't successful. Safe Return is a better community because of you all. And I got to let you know right now, me and Richard Boyd would have had a lot of one-to-ones about every last one of y'all, but we still would have loved y'all anyway. So just thank you, everybody. Thank you, everybody. And remember, nothing worth fighting for is easy. And like we always say, if you have a goal that you can achieve on your own, your vision ain't big enough.
Oh man, I almost had tears in my eyes from laughter and emotion. I don't even know. I don't know which. But again, thank you very much to everybody who have participated in tonight's event. Hopefully, and from what I was able to read, the inspiration carries out and multiplied by 1,000. Thank you for all the support and donors and individuals who have given, whether it's been time, whether it's been resources, whether it's been financial. Thank you very much for standing on for allowing us to stand on your shoulders and to see the community through a vision of someone else. Thank you to all the participants, all of the fellows that have trusted in the process and who took that first initial step to say, let me try something different, because that can be scary in itself and challenging. Thank you to Misha for allowing this to be a space for these things to take place. And
thank you, Shayla Bonner. Shayla Bonner, thank you.
Shayla, Naja Coleman, Evelyn Santos, all of our staff at Safe Return, Carlos Fernandez, everybody.
That's right. So what we're going to do is leave y'all with a music video. But again, find the opportunity. If you have if there's something you would like to donate, whether it's financial, whether it's time, whether it's resources, whether it's support, we could use all of that. Please do so. We have the website. We have ways of getting in communique. There's the donate website. So please feel free to do so. So with that said, thank you very much for participating with us tonight, engaging with us, for celebrating with us. And we cannot wait for the next one. Thank you very much. So Demi Day, thank you for your music video, and we appreciate you and your assistance in our project.
What's up? It's your girl Demi Day. Let's go. Come and meet me at the bottom. When the realest trying to get it out the mud. When you position this low, sit and study what's above. Our people hustle for some love that'll get us where we going. Fighting for our freedom, never had it out and growing. Spoken with your heart and mind, get you through some harder times. If it ain't about the journey, it ain't really no automatic. For starters, I'm dishing out the truth of my experience. You hearing this? Remember, I am black, queer, and serious. The people might be curious about how I'ma do it. Music forever fluid, the lyrics forever lucid, rhythm forever suited in fashion, the liberation. I spit it to change a nation, get more from change the station, and patient, never complacent, leading a generation of digital elevation, shaping the situation with some well-informed body. They catch up like some condiments, stop it with the confidence, fail to shoot knowledge and prominence is the proximate to more populous gatherings, working less chattering, talking about lives that matter. I ain't got no soul for these pilots to go and lather in. Time for them to pay for the system they manufactured it. Honestly, there was residual in apologies, especially when all that residual from the colonies don't bother me. Painting the visual, how we had to beat it. I would have to finance these riddles to preach equality. That's comedy to people who don't get much to do. But it's a whole lot of drama trying to make this a new. And I was thumbing through the history of what we've been through and seeing where we are now. I ain't got much to conclude. They've been out here trying to even the score, but they can't catch me. No, I hold it down to the core, like evidently see the scope and trying to win my support, but they can't have me. I'm committed to the movement, baby. Know that they've been out here trying to even the score, but they can't catch me. No, I hold it down to the core, like evidently see the scope and trying to win my support, but they can't have me. I'm committed to the movement, baby. No lie, look. So abusive the way I'm made for the nuisance, for speaking against the nuisance. The clansmen are still using. I'm chosen, but I ain't choosing to be here for your amusement. Talking about who's who, but refusing to see humans. Kind of refusing how they work by the numbers. They build it up in the winter and bleed it out in the summer and do it all for a cover so they can sit in the cover. Luxury lies in the slumber, but if you walk, you hunger. Thirsting there for a tumbler so I can post all about it. Till I was climbing this mountain, inevitably they doubted. Then they call it progression, and then they ask for connection. Like they don't see me bending backward just to give them direction. Hope I got your attention. Step left if you with me. Let's make a point like committee and do it all for the city. Get to the nitty and gritty. This wasn't meant to be pretty. Ain't no rest for the weary. My self-care is a theory. Tucked away in some well-reasoned scholarship. Let go of academics when I completed the sponsorship. Ain't defending nothing just for the sake of an argument. Too busy getting credit for work that they said was hard to get. Never mind the bootstraps. We pulling up these buckets. Sounds a gold mine. Being dug up like some nuggets. Magic flow of mine. Had to practice in a coven. And the witchcraft was enough to play these rappers like some puppets. And ooh, you gotta love it. I still ain't selling out. See the fan base blowing up. But your girl is still down. And I'ma be around to give a voice to these youngers who still ain't got it. If you wanna come and get it, you gon' have to be about it. They've been out here trying to even the score. They can't catch me. No, I hold it down to the core. Like Evan, they see them scoping, trying to win my support. But they can't have me. I'm committed to the movement, baby. No lie. They've been out here trying to even the score, but they can't catch me. No, I hold it down to the core. Like Evan, they see them scoping, trying to win my support. But they can't have me. I'm committed to the movement, baby. No lie. That's no lie.